We do want to do some more questions here. We've got to talk too about the Honky Tonk Man. That's something that we haven't touched on this, but that's the news coming out of the show. And let me just go ahead and break that down for you. Starting with the only news of substance, Honky Tonk Man quit the promotion just before match time. Don't know all the details, but was told Honky was expecting to get the TV title. He should pay attention to pre-taped television since they had taped TV for January with Johnny B. Bad still holding the belt. He was also unhappy about not getting a contract. Both he and Jim Duggan are on $1,000 per match deals rather than a guaranteed yearly salary. And we're told coming in that nobody was going to get guaranteed big money deals as in the past. And they felt misled because then Randy Savage got such a deal. He may have balked about being asked to do the job, but I don't know that as a fact. Considering his career alternatives at this point, even though he might have felt it was right to walk out, the decision has to be perplexing. Now, if we talked a lot with Eric Bischoff, and he said that this was one of the highlights of his career, and it was one of the greatest days of his life. And if he could, he would start every day, even now in 2024, by waking up, getting a cup of coffee, firing the Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
You were there. What do you remember about Honky Tonk Man walking out?
I remember nothing about it.
Great.
I'm sorry, I don't. I could, of course, we make up a lot of shit on the show, but I remember nothing. The only thing I do remember is Honky Tonk Man not being happy, and then Honky Tonk Man not being there. I don't remember any type of conflict backstage, or I don't remember Eric saying you're fired, and Eric coming to us and saying, "Hey, I fired this son of a bitch. He's gone. I'm so glad." I just remembered that he was unhappy.
Yeah.
But, you know, wasn't he always kind of like that? Haven't you heard that about him, about Wayne?
I've never met him. I mean, he's one of those guys that I don't know really anything about. I mean, I've seen some shoot interviews, but
Right.
I don't really know.
I've talked. I mean, I work with him in the WWE, and I work with him in obviously in WCW. He didn't come in for long. He just didn't seem like he wanted to be there to me. And maybe that was all driven because of money, and I'm sure it was. Right. Some guys are driven because of storyline. Some guys are driven because of wins and losses, and some guys are driven because of money. And to me, of those three, the most important is money. Because if you're going to do the job, but you're still going to get paid, do the fucking job. You're making a good living, you know. So that's what but the only thing I remember about Honky Tonk Man was him being very unhappy. Notice how Hogan and Brutus are really taking their time here.
We already got their money, brother.
No, it's just that. I wonder who put together this match. Well, I'm sure Hogan did.
No doubt.
Yeah, I was trying to think who was the coach or who was the producer or the agent for this match, and it was Hogan. So
Cody is asking on Twitter, who does Tony think was the best option against Hogan? Like if you were booking here, if you had gotten that executive producer job and not that nothing happened to Eric Bischoff, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And you had that gig, who would you have put in there against Hogan on this night?
Well, God, who was on the roster? I mean, at that time.
Vader.
Vader would have been good, right? Yeah, Vader would have been great. A rematch with Ric Flair would have been great.
All right, here we go. This is the roster as of December 94. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Beautiful Bobby Eaton, Sting, Flying Brian Pillman, the Enforcer Arn Anderson, Brad Armstrong, Big Van Vader, The Natural Dustin Rhodes, Johnny B. Baz, Stunning Steve Austin, Diamond Dallas Page, Marcus Alexander Bagwell, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Lord Steven Regal, The Nature Boy Ric Flair, Pretty Paul Roma, Stevie Ray, Booker T, Dave Sullivan, Brian Knobbs, Jerry Sachs, Mark Starr, The Guardian Angel, Kevin Sullivan, The Patriot, Bunkhouse Buck, Steve Armstrong, Ming, John Paul Levesque, Dos Winterkin, Alex Wright, Frank Anderson, Hulk Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jumpin' Joey Maggs, The Avalanche, Dirty Dick Slater, Broad Street Bully, Scott Armstrong, Randy Macho Man Savage.
Okay, I missed that. Would you run that over again?
Sure. Beautiful Bobby Eaton, Sting, Flying Brian Pillman, The Enforcer, Arn Anderson, Brad Armstrong, Big Van Vader, The Natural, Dustin Rhodes, Johnny B. Bad, Stunning Steve Austin, Diamond Dallas Page, Marcus Alexander Bagwell, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Lord Steven Regal, The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Pretty Paul Roma, Stevie Ray, Booker T, Dave Sullivan, Brian Knabbs, Jerry Sags, Mark Starr, The Guardian Angel, Kevin Sullivan, The Patriot, Bunkhouse Buck, Steve Armstrong, Ming, John Paul Levesque, Das Wonderkin, Alex Wright, Frank Anderson, Hulk Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jumpin' Joey Max, The Avalanche, Dirty Dick Slater, Broad Street Bully, Scott Armstrong, Randy Macho Man Savage.
Okay. And I missed some of those in the middle. So if you will start from the bottom and go to the top.
Sure. Randy Macho Man Savage, Scott Armstrong, Broad Street Bully, Dirty Dick Slater, The Avalanche, Joey Mags, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Brutus Beefcake, Hulk Hogan, Frank Anderson, Alex Wright, John Paul Levesque, Ming, Steve Armstrong, Bunkhouse Buck, The Patriot, Kevin Sullivan, The Guardian Angel, Mark Starr, Jerry Sachs, Brian Knobs, Dave Sullivan, Booker T, Stevie Ray, Pretty Paul Roma, The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Lord Steven Regal, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Marcus Alexander Bagwell, Diamond Dallas Page, Stunning Steve Austin, Johnny B. Bad, The Natural Dustin Rhodes, Big Van Vader, Brad Armstrong, The Enforcer Arn Anderson, Flying Brian Pillman, Sting, and Beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Okay, that's a pretty good list of talent, and I would still gone for a Flair Hogan rematch. I think,
yeah,
to build it up right.
I could have seen. I mean, Randy Savage would have worked here.
Yes, of course he would have worked here. You know what? In many ways, if done right, and just based on the old WWF stuff from years gone by,
yeah,
Paul Orndorff would have been all right.
Oh, that would have been great.
You know, remember the cage match where the photo finish thing?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was tremendous. It was very, very well done. But here we got Brutus, and he's not the listen. He is not the worst worker in the world. I know people shit on him because he's Hogan's friend, and he was put into a spot, and but he's not. He really isn't. And the barber gimmick back in the day in the 80s was pretty cool with the.
Oh, he was over back then.
The hedge clippers and everything. Fuck. Absolutely. But Jesus Christ, we still got 20 minutes to go.
I see people like Adam DeMoy, stupid ass Adam DeMoy, saying Cactus Jack was there in '94 too. No, he wasn't.
Okay.
He wasn't in WCW in December of 1994. This show happened in December. Nothing happening, son of a bitch.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk bad of Adam DeMoy. It's DeMoy. It's not DeMoy.
Wait, hang on. You shit on him every week. That's the only reason I shit on him.
I'm not shitting on him anymore because he's a father. He's got a young daughter.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So Disco Inferno, he should have been in here.
Yeah. No, fuck him.
Wait, no, hang on. That's his favorite wrestler. If we're supporting Adam, we got to support what he's into.
No, it's not his favorite wrestler. He knows. DeMoy knows that everybody hates Disco Inferno. Everybody.
I don't hate Disco Inferno.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I love Disco Inferno. He's a great guy.
Everybody hates Disco Inferno. I bet his parents hate him. Okay.
No,
that's why DeMoy brings his name up. He wants to get a rise from us.
Okay? I don't believe that. I don't think Adam would do that. Really, I don't.
Okay.